What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Vative podcast with me, your host, diavion Nicolas. And so, pre-decided already, the topic of this podcast is going to be difference. Yes, difference. I know many people may know me to be the guy who's basically obsessed with divergence and just individual expression, but I really just want to dive into the topic tonight. So, firstly, today, I didn't meditate for full 30 minutes. It was more by choice that I didn't. The time came that I was supposed to. It's usually in the morning, and I just didn't. But I got a new skit uploaded to YouTube. I edited the whole thing and uploaded it today. I think it's pretty funny. When I went outside, I recorded some ads, just some basic ads of me being crazy, running into the frame, saying check out my new YouTube video, whatever, and then running away. Just really basic things like that. But the thing that stood out to me was thinking about difference in general. So what do I mean by difference? What I mean by difference is not so much as being different from the entire crowd, but being different from what you're used to. As in changing your habits, as in doing something strictly because it is different, right? Maybe, in the micro, me sending my ads to random people on Snapchat won't work. But if I keep it up, 10 out of 100 isn't too good of a dividend, but it's a decent amount. That's 10 people who all have families, who all probably go to school, who have communities, who have clubs and stuff, who can share the message, And it was a really weird idea I had to do it earlier, but the reason why I went through with it was strictly because I have worked on training myself in my head to do something because it is weird.
Oh man, now we're talking. Now you're speaking facts. That's facts right there.
It's coming to me because when I was practicing dancing just now, right? For about 30 minutes, and somewhere along, I just started getting the feeling I was just I want to record. I'm really in the mood. I feel really in the flow. I want to record. Not just I need to, I want to. I ended up making about 3 or 4 new dance videos. One to a My Bloody Valentine song, one to a Tame Impala song, one to a Zendaya song, and one to something else. I can't really remember right now. But, I just started thinking, I was if I become the guy who blows up in the dance world, I'm dancing, I'm closing my eyes, I'm visualizing myself at World of Dance, all these dancers I respect and basically grew up with watching them. I'd visualize them standing around me and supporting me. I'd visualize being on the World of Dance stage surrounded by all those dancers. I want to say thank you before I continue to Angel Guzman and Daquan Moody. Thank you to you guys because you two freaking exposed me to World of Dance. You two planted this dream in me, and I probably haven't hit you up in a while, but it's because I've been working on my craft. Angel, I still remember when you told me, don't pay too much attention to the people in the comments because they're going to keep rooting for you. They're your family. They're going to keep you from growing because they keep telling you you're good when, you could be falling off. Trust me, I'm not doing that. I respond to a bunch of people because Gary Vee simply says, well, he's an example, not even just to use what he said as an example, but to, just more so in life when somebody gives you a compliment, what do you do, Plus, I don't want to be one of those guys who gets big and doesn't know how to look back. I always want to remember where I came from. So, I actually make an effort to reply to every YouTube comment, every Instagram comment, every Instagram DM. Plus, I'm a small YouTube channel. I'm a small Instagram page. I have no reason not to be replying to these people. I clearly see it. I'm not just going to like it. I'm going to reply, to build a relationship with them. And Daquan and Angel, so you two are the ones that these guys are the ones that introduced me to the World of Dance scene. And the first time they took me to first it was Daquan. The first time, the insurance bucket. It's okay. They probably wouldn't mind me mentioning them on a podcast. But So the man took me to, when I was around 16 years old, took me to my first World of Dance. And I remember sitting outside on the bench waiting for it to open. And, we turned my phone on and connected it to a speaker, and we're just freestyling. Getting so nostalgic right now, but we're just freestyle dancing, and there's so many dancers around. Like, it's amazing. In each bench, there is a group of dancers. There's dance teams, there's dance crews, there's solo acts just there. But what always stood out to me when I went 2 years ago, 1 year ago, I don't think I went this year, but what stood out to me is that you always had your Bailey Soak. You always had your Melvin Tim Tim. You get it? Like, you always had these dancers who were semi above everyone because they're famous, because people know who the heck they are. Which makes me think, because I will see dancers at the event that dance far better than the headliner. And I like to execute. I'm a practitioner. I like to figure out why and act on it. So that's what I've been trying to figure out. Why is this dude so freaking good and he doesn't have any shine? Like, why? And then, I start to go back and I'm like, I get it. It all goes back to when, I used to practice indoors. And, people used to tell me, especially my mom would tell me, how are people ever going to get to know who you are if all you do is dance inside? Who's going to ever know you have a gift if you're not showing people? So when I look at these dancers who are like up there, they've been sharing content for a minute. Kid of the Great grew up in California. He's been doing nothing but posting his videos and making his own hashtag. He's been doing nothing but that, and he was a kid. I forgot what the word is, but you know how when you see a kid do something that's moderately good, and automatically you just kind of tell yourself like, oh, it's the best thing ever, when it's genuinely not. It's just cool because they're a kid. So that was it. He was a kid. So Bailey Soak, she's been going to that studio she's an example of somebody whose parents had money. She's an example of somebody who came from a family who had a decent amount of money, who basically paid to pave her way into the dance community. I personally don't exactly respect that 100%. I don't know. I just don't give kids who grew up with money 100% of the credit. I just don't, because there's a lot of doors and dynamics that, they don't have to deal with that we do. But, it's cool because we last longer in the long run because we've been through more, unless they purposely put themselves in situations. But we kind of just grew up with the adversity, not growing up with all that money to go to classes. I never went to classes because, I just never went to classes. And so, back to the whole point about being different. So when I started looking at all these dancers and watching them dance, I'm a really analytical, meticulous person. I like to look around and figure out why, who, what, where, when. I like to see how does a crowd react when he gets on stage versus how the crowd reacts when he gets on stage. How does this dancer react when this famous dancer comes around versus to when that famous dancer comes around? How does this famous dancer interact with all the other dancers? How does this famous dancer interact with the dancer who's clearly good, winning the battles, but is not famous? So I start to look at it and I'm like, so if you can blow up, then you can blow up too. Okay, so that takes it out of the question. Alienation is gone. The famous dancer, the non-famous dancer, the Bailey Soak and the dude just in battles, no different. Both of them could blow up. Cool, 2020, perfect time to blow up. TikTok, LinkedIn, all these different apps, perfect time to freaking blow up, all right? So, you have that, but then the thing about difference is that when you blow up, what is your thing that's going to set you apart from people? Which, starts to, place the thought in my head that if these dancers, all they do is choreograph, what advantage do they have over people? Then all they have is their brand. That's all they have to offer is their freaking brand. Your brand's going to get old, buddy. Just because your name is this or let's convert to another industry, like the music industry. Tyler, the Creator, If you look at him, he did not stay Odd Future forever because dynamics come into play and things change. People fall off, groups die. It happens most of the time. There's some things in life we just can't control, and that's one of them. People change, But Tyler adapted, and Golf Boys, Trash Wang, Wang Sap, adapting. And so the difference comes into play is, I kind of feel like if you just make doing things simply because they're different, just do it because the sake it's different, you get to keep your relevance. Because the worst thing I feel like could happen is if you get known for being somebody else. That's when I feel like it's hard. If you get your spotlight before you figure out who you are. Because now it's a whole bunch of delusion in your head. Everybody is just going to be telling you, oh, you're this, you're so special, you're this, you're this, you're this, you're blah, blah, blah. Feeding your head with all these lies. And they're steering you off your path of learning who you are. Am I right or am I wrong? People are constantly telling you you're good. It's like a girl. People are constantly telling her she's pretty. And she never sees her flaws, but one day people telling you you're pretty is going to stop. So where's your value going to be? I fully recognize that I cannot dance forever. That's why I'm going hard. I will be the best before I am 30. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to convert to making movies and real estate. Simple. I don't plan on, my only source of income being a professional dancer when I'm in my 30s. That's just whack to me. I'd rather be in a different industry. It's kind of like being I'm going to be the best employee at Chick-fil-A. I'm going to become a manager. And then, you're 50 years old and you're still just a manager. That's kind of whack. And that's where I feel like it comes into play of doing things simply because of the sake that it's different. It's different from what you know. It's different from the crowd. You're a dancer at World of Dance and you're seeing all these people. What is that thing that you're doing? What is that? What do you hold that sets you apart from all these other dancers? What is it? I want to say it took me some time, but genuinely it didn't take me that much time, and I feel like it's because I'm freaking hungry. I know now. All I'm getting now is the exposure, and I have a really important Skype interview tomorrow that can change all of this, but it's legit what is that thing that's going to set you apart. I feel like that's in any craft, any field. You need to find that thing that sets you apart. It's that identity. It's like how when Kevin Parker was growing up, he clung to music because he felt like music is what gave him identity. Music is that thing that shaped and molded who he believed he was, and he loved it because it set him apart from everybody. That's one of the reasons why I love skateboarding, because growing up, the only people around me that skateboarded was my brothers and my cousin and my mentor. No one else. I was in New York. Wasn't nobody around me skateboarding. All them kids did basketball. That's just how it is. You growing up in a multicultural area, in 2008, 2009, who the freak is picking up a skateboard? Until Lil Wayne picked up a skateboard, and even still people weren't picking up skateboards. They were clowning it. And, so it's basically just finding that thing that will, really just help you find your identity, I want to say, difference, period. And I feel like the easiest way to find your identity is start going with the difference. You're gonna look dumb. You can't, and at this point, I'm kind of just talking to myself, being therapeutic to myself, but also I'm saying you, so it's to you guys too, but I don't want to come off as like that motivational, blah, blah, blah. I hate motivation. Motivation runs out. What was I saying? So, the whole, you want to find that thing that makes you, and you have to be willing to look dumb. I remember watching a Le Twins interview, and Laurent was saying something like, if you dance like us, or want to dance like us, or you want to get good, my advice to dancers is stop trying to look cute. You're gonna look ugly. That's fundamental for me. Because I see so many dancers it's kind of like in Gordon Ramsay's cooking, they put the parsley on the plate because they know the plate is garbage. the dish is bad, so they put parsley on it as a decoration. Every time Gordon Ramsay sees it, he's like, oh boy, another one of these parsley on the plates. I know what this is about to be. So it's like it's like you see a dancer and they're dressed up so much. They got their clique around them. They got everyone around them. You know, they're looking good. And then when they dance, it's average. That just makes, I'm just like, why don't you work on the recipe more and stop trying to showcase to people? Why don't you freaking work on the recipe? Or why don't you showcase to people yourself as you're working on your recipe? Like I'm doing with the stride. I continue to work on my craft every day. And advice to anyone in their craft, if you want to get better, even if you don't feel like doing it, get up and do it. Not just because it gets you better and it contributes to the 10,000 hours, but because the more you do it, the more it becomes a part of your identity. If it's something that you do every day, and heck no, I'm not going to say every week, I'm going to say every single day. If it's something you do every day, it legit becomes a part of your personality. It's like me, for example, if I don't dance for a day or two, my body like kind of forgets I'm a dancer. I can still move, but I can't dance. I can still move around and do my thing, but there's no feeling in there because I ain't been doing it every day. You know? And off on a tangent. So now I want to cross over into the subject of dance styles. Ooh. And if any of you are listening to this and you're like, you know, I don't really care about dance talk, I'm not a dancer, cool, that's perfectly fine. But I basically just use dance as a metaphor to certain things you can learn in life, period, because it's what I know best, it's what I do best, is dance. And talking is apparently something else I do pretty well, so I'm on a podcast now. But into dance styles. So I remember a couple years ago when I used to dance and I put my videos on YouTube, and I remember, which I don't understand because I was extremely ugly back then, like when certain girls who liked me would comment that I'm doing a good job and my dance videos are good, and I remember being so angry looking at those comments, like infuriated inside because I knew what was going on. Like, I'm genuine. I don't want your fake compliments. Like, I don't want you telling me I'm doing well just because you want to be my friend or something. I don't want that. I'm not interested. You can keep your friendship. I want authenticity, you know, like something real. So it was legit. Like, I'd look at the comment, you know, I'd respond like thank you or whatever, but I knew what it was. I knew why they were saying it was good. So, you know, when I saw a comment like that, I'd get up and I'd go practice. Simple. If somebody comments that, I'd get up and go practice. It's you know, I used to legit run away from hard work, but it became more of a I started watching Eric Thomas, Tom Bilyeu, Evan Carmichael, you know, all these people, and I started learning from the guest and them, period, and the guests that they had on their show. Is that, you know, I heard this quote, I don't know who said it, don't fact check me. His podcast isn't monetized anyway, so I'm sure nobody would really mind, but I heard a quote one time that said, how did it go? It said that hard work is not the answer to success, but it definitely is a part of the equation, you know? So now I'm thinking in my current circumstance, when things get tough, it's like I said yesterday, the storm can't freaking last forever. And how do you stay productive? Wow, I forgot, whatever. How do you stay productive? You do things simply because they are different. It's the why that's strong, because when you don't feel like doing something, it's that why that's going to propel you to get up. It's like that skit I just put on my YouTube, how to be nice douchebag edition, that only happened because I had a couple extra hours left in my day with nothing to do. And, you know, it takes me back to, I was watching, you know, a video, I think like a week ago, of a beat maker. Forgot what his name is. I'd give him a shout out, but it was a producer who was making beats, and he said at a certain point in the video, he said, I had extra time left in my day, but I decided, why not make a YouTube video and do something that's going to propel me into the future that I want. So, you know, I started thinking, I was like, okay, I got this skit. It wasn't really a skit. I didn't have the whole thing written out, but It was more so of an idea. So I said, I have a couple hours left in my day. I'm going to quickly write this out, go outside before it gets dark, record my little clips, come back in, record my skit. The morning after that, it was edited, and now it's up. So that whole thing happened. But the reason why I actually got up and did it was because it was different. I'm trying to get myself as a person used to change. Even with the circumstance now, I'm trying to get myself used to change because this isn't going to last forever. That's just a fact. That's just how life goes. Nobody stays in the same place forever. The only way you stay stuck in the storm is if you're chasing it. The storm is there and then it leaves. You're chasing it if you don't put in the work. Your storm can't freaking last forever, but if you're not putting in the work, if you're not working on yourself and doing what you got to do, if you're not doing that, you're chasing the storm. If you are doing that, you're staying where you are, you're staying grounded, you're staying where you need to be in the head space, heart space, whatever it may be, and the storm can leave. But how can it leave if you're staying there and putting out all that hot air? Terrible analogy, but hopefully you get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So, and this podcast too. This podcast wouldn't even be a thing if I didn't decide one day, you know what, it's different. Why not? Now it's actually something I enjoy doing. I get to come here on the mic and just talk to you guys. Even if there's not even too much people listening, I'm in the storm, I'm in the crashing waters, but at a certain point you get through the water and you get, to the middle and to the calmer waters and you get to the land. Cool, I'm in the crashing waters where nobody's listening, where it's an empty podcast, where I got 3 listeners who've only listened to 3 episodes, even though I've got a whole bunch. Like, that's cool, but that's not going to last forever. So if I keep being consistent and keep doing it every day, what's a good analogy for this? It more so creates like a boat, not a raft, but a boat. It just creates a stronger foundation to help carry me through the sea to the land, so that when the product I'm putting out, the Vative experience, the Vative shots, which is my photography branch, it's on Instagram. What else do I have? The Vative stride, on YouTube, where I dance for 30 minutes every weekend. All these things, when they start to pick up, people can build a stronger relationship with me because they can go back and see that I've been putting out quality content. I've been doing this. I didn't just pop up and just blow up. And those are the people, I don't want to say I don't respect, but to a certain degree, I don't really have a feel, for people who kind of just pop up and just blow up. I'm like, I'm not going to hold animosity, so I'm like, oh, snap, that's sick. Wow, I'm actually sitting here talking to that 0.9% of human being, that 0.9% of people who got struck by lightning, who got, who just got it, just got, like Justin Bieber, just blew up online, just singing, just having fun. Cool. Because, with people like that, there's always something to learn from that. Instead of you working so freaking hard all the time, how about you try something different and have fun like this person?
Right there.
This person blew up, they were just having fun. Yeah, you might want to say they had the looks, they had the blah. I don't believe that too much, that can be a huge factor, but I mainly believe if you're looking at, if you look at somebody like Charlie DeMille, you're like, oh, she only blew up because people think she's pretty and blah, 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 blah. I mean, if we genuinely sit here and think about it, if you yourself, individually, see somebody in real life, just because they're pretty, are you going to want to follow them forever? No. You're going to follow them because they're consistently putting out content that you can feed into every single day, every week, every month. They keep going and going and going. It gives you something to latch onto. So, and if y'all haven't noticed on TikTok, she's legit on every popular hashtag. She's at the top video. Hey, what the heck am I talking about? Wow, 724 bars. What I'm going to guess, around 30 minutes now? I don't know, whatever. But I'm going to go wash clothes now, so I hope you guys can take something away from this podcast, hopefully. I know it felt really good to speak on this podcast. Just got to come here and just talk and just say what I want, say what I feel. that's basically it. So thank you for listening to the Vative Experience with me, your host, diavion Nicolas. Say this literally every podcast apparently, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow, 11:30 Eastern Time, Central, I think is what it was. Eastern Standard Time, that's what it is. All right. Peace. Oh, wait, and before you go, so the videos that I put on my YouTube channel, The Vative, congratulations. I am at 300 subscribers. Yeah! Yesterday I was just talking about how I want to be at 300. I'm at 290. Today I'm at 300, 303 to be exact. And my Billie Eilish video has about 200 something views. Doing pretty well. Not the best, but doing kind of well. Hopefully my brother can get his friend to shout me out. She's a gamer in Florida who's like, you know, she's pretty popular on YouTube, but you know, if not, it's all cool. I'll just keep putting in the work till I get the results that I want. You know, it's cool. Keep going, not gonna stop till I get it. All right, that's it. Let me stop talking before I get out of hand. I really have to go wash clothes. All right, peace out, and I hope you all have a good night or a day. I don't know what time you're listening, but whatever. All right, I'm out. I'm leaving. Peace out.